good, everybody? It's your boy Chill.
And it's your boy Will.
This is the Pull Up Podcast.
With Chill Will.
Yes, sir.
Tedra. And we already doing the fool. We gonna open up the episode doing the fool. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, we always gotta let you know, make sure that you like, rate, subscribe, love on us. I was gonna say subscribe again, but y'all know what I mean. Come on now, hit the button,
like, subscribe, all that.
Support, like, subscribe, do all of that. Because every time we come up here, we got a very, 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 very special guest.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we got India Y. Ali, attorney. India Y. Ali Esquire. Can I say Esquire? Is that that's
Esquire?
An attorney thing, right?
Yeah. So the Esquire, the main thing about Esquire, that means you're licensed to practice law.
Come on, licensed to practice.
Yeah.
So you Esquire.
I'm
all
definitely
day.
Esquire.
She sounds definitely. I love
It means you pass the bar and you're licensed to practice law.
Amen. Amen. She passed the bar and she's licensed to practice on y'all because y'all be doing all kinds of criminal activities and she needs to practice on y'all because y'all can't get right.
Get them out of trouble.
Lord have mercy. India, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. I'm happy to be here.
I love it.
Thank you for coming out.
And of course.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all having me.
We have learned a little bit about you from, if for you guys that don't know, we get a little bit of excerpts from our guests to kind of get to know them a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you seem to be so intriguing. And we were so super excited about talking to you because we have so many questions, like real life questions for you. So before we get into all that, let's just find out a little bit about who India is. I know I've asked you this question already, but where are you from?
I'm from the east side, Lithonia, Decatur, Wesley Chapel, Panola Road, DeKalb County product. Proud DeKalb County product.
Right.
Straight from the deck, exactly.
Straight. I know some people on the line like, hey, that's my food, that's why I went. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. So Decatur, Georgia, Lithonia, Panola Road, out there on the east side.
Yes.
Moving on up. Okay. And what made you become an attorney? Did you grow up wanting to be a lawyer?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's interesting. I tell this story a lot because I get asked that question, right? Uh-huh. So you think about different cultures and how you think about maybe the Jewish community or even the Asian community, and a lot of them go to be accountants, engineers, attorneys. And at a very young age, it's my understanding, it might be a folk's tale, that they set out different things in whatever the child crawls to. That's what the child is going to become, right? And so...
I've heard that before.
Right. My mom took it upon herself to kind of do that with me and my brothers. She didn't put anything out, but she always said, India, you're going to be the lawyer. You know, my younger brother, you're going to be a doctor. And to my older brother, you're going to be an engineer. I just happened to become a lawyer. Right. But she was a paralegal. And after I graduated from college and my basketball career was basically over, she just encouraged me to take the LSAT and go to law school. And I was just kind of like, I don't really want to do that. Yeah. But I ended up doing it, and it turned out to be a great decision. And so that's how I came to become an attorney. No regrets. But it was in God's plans. It wasn't in my plans. Yeah.
So how did you choose the emphasis on which your expertise or how did you choose that? How did you get to that?
Got you. So after I graduated from law school, still wasn't trying to practice law, was just coaching basketball, and I happened to be connected with a family friend, essentially. Older black gentleman that has his own law firm, and he does general practice from criminal, bankruptcy, family law, civil litigation. And so I went there just to get my feet wet and learn different things, and just started getting some personal injury cases that friends would send me, or a friend would call, hey, I got in a car accident case. So just started learning on my feet really about that, and just kind of developed a liking for it. One, because I don't like court that much.
Right. Okay.
And so
That's interesting.
Personal injuries, not heavy in court for the most part. It's a lot of stuff can be settled before you go to court. It's decent money. And so I got my feet wet learning that and just kind of built out that practice at that firm. And we did a little bit of estate planning. So I got my feet wet in that. I would say just moving forward as I branched out on my own, was just doing personal injury. And then you're getting calls about estate planning. And, you know, I got married and it's like, we need a trust. And we got our own trust done. And we just enjoyed that process and the thinking it takes you through. And then just moving forward, my mom passed in 2021. And so having to handle,
Sorry to hear that.
I appreciate that. Having to handle her own estate. Because I didn't get a chance to do her trust, right? So going through that process just kind of groomed me to be like, we need to talk about this more with our community because
come on now,
a lot of us don't. One, you don't know, right? You don't have the information, or all you know is about a will, right? And we just, you know, when we're the trendy topics, the buzzwords now is generational wealth, legacy, all that stuff. But what does that really mean, right? If you don't. I mean, honestly, if you don't,
you said they just buzzwords.
It's just buzzwords. If you don't have a trust, there's no generational wealth. Period. There's no legacy. And so going through that process with her own estate and then getting, I mean, I get so many calls of, oh, my dad died. He didn't have a will and I don't know what to do. And it's, dang, like trying to drive home the point. Let's start having this conversation with our parents. Because if we're going to be inheriting from them, we want to make sure your inheritance is perfected. Right. You don't want to have to go through the probate court process. It's traumatic. It's dramatic.
It's very traumatic.
It's time consuming. It's draining. Like even me knowing what to do,
especially after in the process of grieving.
Exactly. On top of that, you got to do this and do that, and you put the grieving to the back burner because the work has to get done. But it's tough.
And you would say that a trust alleviates what percentage of the extra that you deal with if you don't have one? All of it?
I would say all of it. Now the grieving part, that's natural. That's normal. Although death is guaranteed.
I hope you're grieving.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, we need to call the detective on you.
Right.
Figure out what's going on.
Right. But I mean, it's easier to grieve when it's like everything's in order.
Right.
It's like it's easier to, okay, I can digest this. Like this is that, this is seamless. Okay, they left me, this is they want me to do. I have the time to grieve. I don't have to worry about going to court, trying to find an attorney, all this other stuff, or I'm arguing with my siblings about something. That makes it even worse.
Can I? Because I've been waiting. As you're saying all this, I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to
don't go ahead.
Let her finish because
I had a family fussing at you when it was over.
Oh man, because my mother passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Of cancer, at least it wasn't COVID, but she passed away in 2020.
Yeah.
And and fortunately for her, she could see that it was coming. So she set up some things. She set up, how she was going to pass down the inheritance, how she was going to pass certain things. But now, like you said, you got to deal with siblings who have a different mindset for what they want to do with the assets, regardless of what, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll just say it clear and plainly. I can't get my sister to understand, like, yo, like, she left this so that we could take care of it, not just dilapidate it. And, like, come on, bro. Right. Like, we got to do some things with this. Like, let's take care of this. But because it's wrapped up in both of us, like, it's hard to be like, how can I not take it from her, but just take it from her so that I could do what's right, and then so that I could give it back to her.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But man, just dealing with that whole situation, how does that get done? Is that something? Obviously, that seems like something that people come to you for as well, right?
Nah, similar situation. Fortunately, my mom had certain things in order, like beneficiaries on bank accounts, beneficiaries life insurance, beneficiaries on a pension, and it was an easy process as far as the procedure goes. But throw in a whammy, having an issue with a sibling, similar to your situation. And now we're looking at, a prolonged scenario, family ties looking kind of crazy now. And so, the process in of itself, I mean, I was able to do it because I knew what to do. But when you have family issues, that makes it worse on top of trying to grieve, on top of trying to do the right thing. And it's like, well, damn, if you just had a trust, Mom, this would...
Right.
We wouldn't have had this issue. But I mean, it is what it is.
And I've been seeing all this stuff on the internet, talking about, all these financial gurus that, they got the chalkboard out and they pull it up and they say, if you got an LLC, then you must have an enterprise over here. And if you have an enterprise over here, you got to have a trust. And the trust will spill down to and spit on the LLC. And then when you get that money, when you die, you get. I'm like, man, first of all, make it plain, bro. Right. You're doing too much. It's you know what I'm saying? But I have heard those things, and it's been very intriguing to me, especially lately, because I have an LLC, and I've been trying to work my LLC and figure out, like, okay, how do we handle this? Like, people whose community has taught them how to handle this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like how everybody...
Great way to say it.
About that. Yeah. Say it without saying it.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. We don't talk to our communities about this. Like, after my mother passed, I had a heart-to-heart with my dad. Like, you gotta get you a will, bro. I was like, do you have a will? He was like, nah. I was like, all right, well, it's time to go get it. You ain't getting no younger. Please don't leave me out here stuck trying to figure this out with my sisters, because I ain't got time for this.
Yeah, understood. Right.
I ain't got time. So tell us more about how somebody would go about creating a trust.
Gotcha.
Well. Now.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Because you have wills.
Yep.
You have trust.
Yep.
And timing is important.
Yes.
Is this correct? When is it an appropriate time to have it? Because some people don't have enough to have a trust. Is this correct?
I think that's a common misconception.
Okay, that's why this is why
I think
when is that? When are those times? When is it time to do a will, and when is it time to add a trust? Do you do them at the same time?
So trust has a minimum. Trust has like a minimum.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Oh. I think that's what most people think. Oh, I'm not a millionaire. I need to trust. Like, you hear trust, and most people hear trust. It's like, that's for that community, right?
Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Right.
For a different, exactly. And that's just not true.
Trust to buy some
Grey Poupon. And I think another common misconception is that you have a last will and testament, and you also have a trust. Nah, they're both estate planning tools that you use to disperse your assets out of your estate at your death, or obviously you become incapacitated. We'll talk about what that means. But like, the key difference, like, just off rip, between a will and a trust, a will has to go through probate court. Period. Because when you have a will, literally it's a legal document. You list your information on there, your name, your family, your assets, who you want to be the executor, and that's the person who carries out your wishes through the court process. And nothing happens until you die, and then that person takes the will to the probate court in the county where you live, and then the process goes, right? But all your assets stay in your personal name. So when you die, in order for legal title to those assets to change, you have to go through probate.
Facts.
Right? And so a dead person can't own anything, right? Wow. But when you have a trust, what you do...
I went through that with the car and the house.
Exactly. When you have a trust, what you do is you change the legal title to assets while you are alive out of your personal name into the name of your trust. So when you die, there's nothing that has to go through the probate court process.
So it's essentially doing... A trust is essentially doing what you're going to have to do yourself manually with a will. It's doing it
before you die. Yeah. So one of the main reasons people do a trust is, one, to avoid probate court. Because like we just said, right? You went through the process with your mom. I'm still going through the process with
my dad's going.
You're still going through it, and you say your mom passed.
Oh no, I'm not still.
Okay.
With the house, there's listen. I might have to talk to you off camera. Listen, you might have been the right person, because I've been trying to figure out what the hell to do with this house.
Look, and my dad's going through the same thing. You know, after my granddad passed.
Yeah.
He's dealing, and he was the executive. So
Got you. And how long has this process been going on?
Oh man, it's like a couple of years.
Exactly, a couple of years, right? Yeah. So think about, that's a delay, right? Probate court, in a good scenario where there's no, arguments, there's a will, everybody's on the same page, maybe 6 months to a year, right? But when you have a trust, literally upon the person's death, it can be administrated right then and there. Just like that.
Right over. Here you go.
Yeah, based on whatever your instructions say in your trust. And another thing about the trust, I know you're about to chime in.
No, you're good.
When we're talking about a will, right, once it goes through that process and, the creditors get what they going to get, because they can come to the party in probate court too. Whatever's left then goes to whoever is named in the will, right? Once they get it, they can do whatever they want with it. the issue we're seeing, especially in our community, when we're talking about generational wealth, there's no wealth going to the next generation.
Yeah.
Once they get it, we know
It's
statistically 70% of it is gone in 3 years. So it's not getting to
Some cases.
in some cases even before then.
Not
right?
my case. Not my case. I made money off my
So, right. But when you have a trust, right, avoid probate court, but then you have instructions to say, upon my death, this asset or this money sits in trust, and you can save for 10 years. And this person maybe gets a lump sum every month, like a little bit. So it's not blown. You just, they can use it for their, support, their maintenance or whatever. Or they get a lump sum when they graduate college, so you incentivize their behavior. And that's how you create the generational wealth. You had the money kind of locked up.
See, because I think I learned right after my mother passed, because like that's a life-changing, life-altering thing, obviously.
Definitely.
So a lot of things got very clear to me. So I ended up getting life insurance after that. I ended up doing the only thing that I think that I need. Right, I haven't set up my will, but I
come on,
I
Will.
Where there's a will,
There's a way.
I'm already here. Whether I'm dead or not, there's still gonna be a will. But I think I wanted to set up my trust.
Nah, you do.
Yeah, she said, "No, you do." I think, and that would probably be like the last. Well, I don't know. I know you don't know my whole situation, but I'm imagining like that's kind of like once you got the trust, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
Trust in the life insurance, right?
Yeah.
All right, now y'all,
Yes,
I got to set up my trust for my baby.
Now, why do you think there is the misconception that you have to have this certain amount of wealth or money to feel like you do need to start a trust? Because that absolutely is what most of us think.
Right.
When it comes to when that whole subject comes up.
I think not enough of us have trust to say like, yeah, I'm not all I got is a house.
Right.
You can do it too, right? And when we hear about it in the news, maybe we might hearing about like, the Trumps have a trust clearly, the Hiltons have a trust, the Rockefellers. We're hearing about these billionaires having these types of assets. And so I think it's just not talked about enough in our community amongst each other. And then also our community does not like talking about death anyway. And so we kind of shy away from the conversation. You try to talk about it with your parents or, your uncles or whoever, and they just kind of like, they don't want to have that conversation.
And which is like you said, you sometimes you're gonna have to Tedra, watch that phone. Sometimes you got to sometimes you got to grab you got to proverbially grab your parents by the shirt and be like, hey, we got to talk about this.
Right.
This is something for us to talk about. Like like I said, I told my dad, I said, you not finna leave us out here. And or just scrambling, trying to figure out your stuff is what I'm saying. Like, don't have us out here, because especially not in the grieving process, because that made my grieving my mother very difficult.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I really didn't even get to grieve until 4 months later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was on go mode, trying to clean the house, trying to figure things out. Where's the paperwork? Exactly. I wasn't even trying to bury her, trying to do all that stuff, handling all that, and then finally 4 months later, I break down and like, I miss my mom. What happened?
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, like I didn't even get a chance to grieve like that. So everybody out there, super important. Get your will, get your trust together, get all your insurance. Y'all holla at India, Ali. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Pull Up Podcast. I'm just doing a quick check-in, letting everybody know what this is and who we are. This is the Pull Up Podcast, and we are on the air right now with attorney India Ali.
Yes.
And she's giving us so much free game, good game about trust, about how to set up our lives and our afterlives, trying to set up our kids for success. We're talking about generational wealth, and she was kind of going into explaining to us what that actually means, I think, right?
Yeah.
We were going into that. Can we dig back into that? Like, what does generational wealth mean to you?
It means financial freedom for your family for years. Your kids, right?
Yeah.
Where there's not a question about, where am I going to live? How am I going to start this business? paying for college, all those things. It's having the means to move about in the world in a way where you don't have to worry about money, I would say. But also generational wealth. I think wealth is beyond money too. It's tradition. It's culture. It's certain wisdom that you have too that you can pass down to your kids. Because if you don't teach them anything, when they get the money, they're not going to do the right thing with it anyway. So the saying goes, it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. So you have to also give them and impart in them certain knowledge and wisdom too. So when they get the money, they know exactly what to do with it. They know how to use it. Yeah.
So how do you feel about the statement, own nothing, control everything? I hear this a lot when it comes to
I hear it a lot too.
How relevant is that? Is that a misconception as well?
It's not a misconception. I think, and I hear it a lot, yes. I think those individuals who say that, they're talking about a particular type of trust, and maybe they don't go into the specifics of what that type of trust is, right? Because there's different types of trust. But at the basic level, it's two structures. Revocable, meaning you can change it while you're alive. Irrevocable, meaning you can't change it. And you can change it, but some loopholes you got to jump through, right? So when they say own nothing, control everything, it's nuanced, I would say. But it's catchy. It's a catchphrase. And so it catches your ears. So I want to learn more about that. But then you have to just kind of vet people who say that. And then, what are their credentials and stuff like that. And just ask more questions to them specifically. I have never said, own nothing, control everything. That's never come out of my mouth. Yeah.
Do you think, and we just got a couple minutes before we got to take a break, but do you think that you can be rich and not wealthy? And do you think that you can be wealthy and not rich?
Yes. Actually, me and my husband were just talking about this. A lot of, entertainers and rappers.
Shout out to Ish.
Yeah.
Ish. Shout out to Ish. Y'all don't see Ish, but Ish is over here the most supportive husband in the world, man. Y'all
Shout
don't
out
know.
to Ish. His birthday's tomorrow too.
It's your birthday tomorrow?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Okay.
All right, now the black version. Happy birthday to you. All right.
But no, we were just talking about this in the car on the way over, how, and he coined it, like most entertainers, rappers who don't have an estate plan, right? Because we heard about a lot of them. They're dying. Yeah. They don't even have life insurance. Right. They're renting wealth.
Right, man.
They just renting it.
That's crazy.
It's good for while you're alive,
crazy.
and then after that, it's poof. It
goes away.
It goes away, right? And so, yeah, I think you can be rich and not wealthy. Most of them are rich and not wealthy. Because I think wealth is beyond just, what you got on, the cars and all that stuff. It's the plan beyond that, right? And I think when you talk about rich, I think rich is different than wealthy, because rich is what it looks like. And so I think a lot of us are rich, but not wealthy. Right. And wealthy is more or less what does the future look like, how my kids set up. Also my mindset, I think goes beyond just the bank account, but
You know what, TLee? Ever since we started the Pull Up Podcast with CHILLW, people have always been coming up to me asking me, yo, how did you guys start a podcast? How did you guys get it out? We started a podcast and we don't know what to do. Tell us, please. And I tell them it's really easy with buzzsprout.com.
Yeah, man. With just a few clicks, you'll be able to distribute your podcast on all of the major podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, iHeart, and Spotify.
Absolutely. Not only can you distribute it so easy, man, you guys, they make it super affordable for people on an entrepreneur budget like us. People are trying to get it out the muck. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
They make it super easy. You can go to their site and pretty much start today.
It's that simple, man. So that's what you need to do. Just go to the site, find your price point, get it set up, get your podcast out to the world.
Yep, absolutely. Get your podcast out to the world, www.buzzsprout.com. That's where you can go. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow the link in our show notes that lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It also gets you a $20 Amazon gift card when you sign up for a paid plan. And every little bit counts towards supporting this show, the Pull Up Podcast with CHILLW. amazing people doing amazing things together in this world, guys. Buzzsprout.com. Yeah.
So before we went on break, I wanted to ask a question about the average cost
Yeah.
of both will and trust.
Right.
What does that look like for the average person?
Right. So I will say this: it does vary with whatever attorney you go to. Right. Some attorneys charge hourly rate. Some do flat rate fees.
Okay.
Some attorneys have gotten creative where, and I would just say myself, for example, since we primarily focus on trust, we can do a will to somebody. This is what I want, but I'm a probe you to get a trust because I think that's the best thing for our community. So I might charge you the same price, and it's like you might as well get a trust, right? But I would just throw it out there. You can get a will online for free.
Right.
You gotta pay nothing for it, right? I don't advise you to do that, but you can do that. But some, I've seen attorneys charge just their hourly rate. So that might be, you might take a couple hours to do a will, so that might be $1,000, right? For us, trust start at $3,000.
Okay.
And it can range. It can go all the way up to $20-something thousand, depending on, your assets, your estate value. Some people want, hey, they're millionaires. They want, tax mitigation, asset protection. They're talking about, foreign asset protection type trust. So it does vary, but most of our clients fall within that 3 to 6K range. And we work with our clients all the time with whatever their financial circumstances are. So I'm not beating nobody over the head. It's more important that you have it for me than it is. I mean, obviously I want to get paid for my services, but it's more important for you to have the trust than for me to try to beat you over the head with some pricing.
So if you have a trust, there's no need for a will. There's no need to have both.
So yes and no. Now, when you have a trust, you do have a will, but it's in it. It's actually called a pour over will. It's not your normal last will and testament, right?
Okay.
And the reason why you have this pour over will in your trust is because, again, going back to what I said earlier, when you have a trust, you're supposed to put assets in the name of your trust while you are alive. Now, I have no control over when anybody dies, right? And so while we're putting assets in the name of your trust, or we're drafting your trust and you signed it and you happen to die and say maybe an asset didn't make it in there, that pour over will catches it, right? It has to go through probate court, but it tells the court, hey, I have a trust, pour it over whatever asset I forgot to put in my trust, pour it over into my trust and let my trust dictate what happens to it. So it's really just a safeguarding measure.
Okay.
It's not to be used like a general last will and testament. Yeah.
Okay.
So you do get a will, but it's a pour over.
And that's included in the trust. That comes with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our trust come with that. Also comes with the power of attorney forms. And, those are important in the event of incapacitation. And that's one thing we don't really talk about. Right. We all know we're going to die, but what if you bad car accident and, you can't make decisions for yourself anymore? Then what?
So many variables.
Yeah.
So the pour over, I never heard of that. So the pour over will, that works for any assets that you obtain after you set up your trust as well?
Yeah. So once you sign your trust, it's effective, but then you have to fund it. You ever heard of like trust fund baby or trust fund? That means that's the assets in the trust. So that's the funds in the trust. So like you want to put a house in the trust, that's really just, doing a quick claim deed to the name of the trust. If we don't get a chance to do that because you passed, then you would tell the probate court, hey, my trust is supposed to go in here, go grab it, put it in my trust, and let my trust instructions dictate what happens to my house.
No, it sounds like once it's set up, it sounds pretty simple to do just put this stuff in. Is it the process of
think it's
adding
simple.
things? It's simple, right?
I would say the process with my office is very simple. So, yeah, you hire my office to do your trust. I think it's very simple. We handle most of the funding for our clients. So you don't have to do the deed yourself. I'll do it, right? And I'll make sure it's filed with the court. If you want to change your beneficiary on your life insurance policy to your trust, which I advise most people to do, because going back to what I said before, if you leave it to a person, in 3 years, that money's going to be gone, right? So instead of leaving it to a person, leave it to your trust, and your trust instruction says what happens to that money. We just, obviously fill out the forms for you. You sign it. We can mail it in or fax it in and make sure it's changed. So we handle all the legwork for the client. So we make it as seamless as possible because for most of our community, this is new. And so, I don't want to overburden anybody. Yeah. So it's like, this is new information. We're holding clients' hands through this process because
Yeah,
you know, black people.
Yeah, we
Where-
don't know where the hell going. And everybody's finicky about their money. That
Right,
hold on
right.
now, I'm
Exactly.
finna give you
I
what?
done gave you $3,000. You gonna make sure I get what I'm supposed to get.
Right. People like, I gave you $3,000 for a piece of paper.
Exactly.
I'm gonna just hold on to it.
Nah,
Like,
I mean,
all
our clients have, all of our clients, you know, some of them come with a wealth of knowledge. They've done their research. They're like, I already know I wanted to
I would
trust.
imagine. I feel like the only people that are trying to get trust are people who are like with trying to expand their knowledge, because you ain't even gonna run into in everyday world, and you're not learning about none of it in school.
Yeah.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not gonna run into anybody talking about anything trust. I just started running into anybody talking about anything trust. So I started hanging out with millionaires. All of a sudden, they saying stuff like trust, and I'm like, trust what? Who we trust?
Right.
I don't know what's going on. What we talking about?
Now,
That's funny.
Trust Jesus.
a few years ago, I got my license for life insurance.
Okay.
And I learned a lot about that whole thing through that. And ton of information and just a lot of misconceptions in that world as well.
Yep.
How important is that in tandem with a trust?
All right. So another thing that Ish coined, right? Combining a trust with life insurance, we call it the infinity stone.
Okay.
Right. That's just like
life
a little
insurance with trust is an
infinity stone.
Okay, I got life insurance. I need one more. Come on, y'all.
Why? Because life insurance is a guaranteed wealth transfer.
Absolutely.
Like, as long as you pay the premium on your death, that money is going wherever it's going, wherever the beneficiary is going, right? You can't, most of us cannot outwork life insurance.
Facts.
Right? And then most life insurance is tax free. So it's a guaranteed payout. It's tax free. Most of us can't outwork it. And so, it's guaranteed. Yeah, you have $1 million policy. It's guaranteed to be paid $1 million to your trust at your death. That plus a trust, and you talking about generational wealth. Imagine you lock up $1 million for 20 years, put in an investment vehicle, see how it grows.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right? So I think, obviously it's different types of life insurance, but having it is very important, and most people don't. Ironically.
They don't.
That's crazy.
I didn't really feel the need to have life insurance until we had my daughter.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I can't. You out here living rogue when you by yourself. You ain't thinking about it. But when you got somebody else that's looking at you like, you have to.
Exactly.
You have to. And so, that was my first journey into this whole financial world. And really finding where I needed to be sitting for myself and for my legacy as well. So,
indeed.
Yeah.
Man, we are learning so much. We are learning so much on the Pull Up Podcast right now. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to chime in real quick. You guys are watching live on Instagram right now. We are going live every week with our podcast, so y'all don't want to miss it each and every Thursday. I know we post
out.
Yeah, we post on Tuesdays. We post the whole video on Tuesday, but on Thursdays, you can check out the live episode. So today's live episode, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with attorney India Y. Ali. Don't forget the Y. Why? I don't know.
Forget it if you want to. I told you earlier. Forget if you want to.
Well, forget if you want to.
All right, made me pull up.
You ain't even gonna have to deal with her. You gonna have to deal with
Ish.
my man back here. And he like 10 feet tall, so you don't want it.
Ish got that ish for you. Don't play.
You don't want it.
But Madam Esquire here, she been putting us on game. She been telling us everything about trust, everything about life insurance, everything about generational wealth. So many important things for our community. You guys want to stay tuned wherever you are. Make sure you stay locked in. We're going to keep coming with all this great tidbit of knowledge.
Man.
Or are we? Are we ready to move to the next segment? No, not yet. Okay, we're going to keep going. All right.
I want to talk real quick about just, this is a personal place for me, just how God works, because I literally have been thinking about this very particular subject for the last couple of weeks, and I'm saying to myself, who am I going to go to for this?
Man.
I don't like dealing with people that we have to deal with people that we don't know.
Yeah.
But you know good,
better to
you know
deal
good,
with somebody
you know
that- where
energy
there's
when
an
you feel it.
introduction.
You know
Yeah,
good energy.
yeah.
You know sincerity. You know genuineness, and I feel like I've met somebody that
Yeah,
I
I
can
think
go
you just
to and
made 2
say,
new clients today, huh?
Hey, man,
see that.
100%, 100%, because it has to happen.
Yeah.
And why not do that with somebody that you clearly see is doing it for the right reason?
Right.
Those are the people that you don't have a problem giving the money to,
Right.
Exactly.
because it's not about the money.
Right.
Yes, we all want to make a living,
Right.
but there's passion behind it, and I want to appreciate you for that because I can feel that in your
Thank
conversation.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is
And you
definitely
wanna
a purposeful mission for
Yeah.
sure.
And you want to share the money with, like you said, like it's just really at the end of the day, to be what I'm starting to learn, not even starting to learn, what I've learned over the course of my years is like, man, to be successful is just when you're called upon, do the job and do it well.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. And guess what? I don't know nobody that doesn't like their guy. Like I have my barber. I've been going to him for 5 years. I've let people have offered to cut my hair for free, and I'm like, no, I'm finna go to my guy. Like, yeah, he's way more expensive than I
Right.
think he needs to be, but that's my guy.
Right.
You know, and so on and so forth. You know, everybody has their guy. So you are in essence, you're not a guy, but you know, the attorney, our guy for attorney for law. Do you do entertainment law? You do entertainment law as well?
So technically, no. Can I? Yes, but technically, no. I don't advertise myself as that. So I advertise myself as estate planning, personal injury like car accidents, dog bites, slip and falls. We do some real estate stuff, and we do some NIL, name, image, likeness. Me and Ish both college hoopers, and so he has a big family down there in Dallas. Lots of nieces and nephews, all 5-star athletes. One of them in the NFL now. A couple are gonna follow, and so we getting in the waters of NIL a bit. And so I have experience with entertainment law just because prior to law school I was, working in entertainment. But it's just not something I advertised myself as doing. But I found myself doing a lot of probate stuff now, which is not the same as estate planning. That's prior to like being proactive, right? But after my mom passed and going through that process of probate, I'm getting so many calls of similar, somebody such and such died, they didn't have a will, or they did have a will. And so I'm getting a lot of probate calls, or even it's still probate, but like people needing guardianship or conservatorship. So advertising that I do that now as well. And so, but mainly just trying to, spread the word and the message and information about estate planning because, like we said, death is guaranteed. It's not a if question, it's a when.
It's a win.
And shout out to Ish again. Another thing he coined is people die, assets don't. And so all of our assets are going to outlive us.
Yeah.
And so what is your plan for your assets? Right? You got to plan for them because they're going to outlive you. And if time is really the only luxury and time is also an asset, use the time that a trust gives you to plan long term.
Yeah.
So.
And how disappointing would it be for you to work your whole life, toil all your hands and all your feet and just bust your back and then die and not have and everything get transferred over to the state? Oh my God.
And now there's a lot of
Oh my God. That's scary. I'm sorry. That's scary to me. I'm like I wake up in the middle of the night and some shit like that. Like, no, bro. It's not for you.
Right.
There's I was just gonna say there's a lot of young people that are dying. How old? Because a lot of people feel like they don't need to put this stuff in place until they're 40 and up.
Right.
But how old is when do you think someone should start considering setting this up? Because some people are dying in their 20s.
Right. Honestly, once you reach the age of majority, I say it starts with us, right? We're like the millennial age, right? So we're kind of in the middle, like the sandwich. Parents, us, and then we have minor children. If we do what we're supposed to do and we plan, right, and our parents plan, so we can perfect our inheritance from our parents, we perfect our plan, our kids will be okay. Right. And then they learn the process through us, and then they know what to do moving forward. But for the younger generation between 18 and 25, I mean, at a minimum, they should have life insurance. And I mean, we've seen so many people, don't even have that. And if you have life insurance, please name a beneficiary because you see people who have life insurance, don't name a beneficiary, then it's back in probate court, and the families arguing about the money. And so,
what did y'all want to do?
I think at 18. I mean,
I agree with you. Looking back, I would be like, yeah, why not?
Why not?
Just get it.
The younger you are, the cheaper life insurance is too.
Cheaper it is.
So yeah, and then your parents could pay for the policy, and they could be the beneficiaries if something were to happen to you. But
and
I
don't
think
smoke.
that too, right?
Right. Don't smoke cigarettes.
Oh.
It don't say nothing.
Well, look, all this talk about Will. It's time for Will's word of the day.
But it's not Will's word of the day.
I was gonna reveal that in a second, but it's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, normally I would do the word of the day, but I figured, man, we have an Esquire here. She's probably got some plethora, a myriad. Y'all like these words? Yeah.
Google it later, guys.
Of words that we haven't heard before. So today I asked her if she would be willing to do the word of the day, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll do the word of the day." So today we are gonna give the word of the day to India Wiley. So let's have a drum roll, please.
Hey. So this word, actually, everybody has heard, but it's an acronym that we like to use in my law firm when we're talking to potential clients or to clients, and it gives you like a guideline, a blueprint for when you're thinking about estate planning that you can take home, write it down, and it's easy to digest. And so when you come back and I'm ready for my estate plan, it helps you kind of map out how you want to do it, right?
Okay.
So the word of the day is faith.
Faith. Come on, Faith.
You gotta have faith,
Yes, sir.
right?
That's the
Have a little
Pentecostal
faith.
podcast.
Exactly.
We
There
love
it is.
Faith over here.
So faith, F.A.I.T.H. So when you're thinking about estate planning, you're thinking about faith. The F in faith is for family, because when you do estate planning, who are you doing it for?
Family.
Your family, right? So you think about your family dynamics. And what we like to say is that think about, if you're thinking about a cross or a T, right? Go up top, parents, if parents are alive. Across, if you're married, right? Down, you have descendants, you have kids. So you want to think about that. Family dynamics. Important thing about family dynamics, again, because like you said, right? You having current issues with your sister. I'm having current issues with my brother. It's family issues. So if you're planning your estate and okay, this person likes to spend money. This person, they're good with money. They're financially savvy. They're an accountant. You can already kind of plan who should be over what, who should get what. Or if this person likes to spend money, I'm gonna protect them from themselves and lock certain money up, and they only can touch it if they accomplish certain things, right? And so F is for family, because first and foremost, you need to know your family dynamics and really sincerely think about it, right? The A in faith is for assets. You got to think about your assets, whether it's a house, bank accounts, car, art, retirement funds, life insurance, a business. You want to think about your assets, because again, what people die, assets don't.
Right.
Your assets are going to outlive you. So what do you want to happen to your assets after you're not here anymore? Right? A lot of people don't like thinking about that, but people die, assets don't.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's period. Right?
Period.
The I in faith is for instructions. The instructions are key because they're the strategy, right? Your instructions tell what you want to happen to your assets, right? And we tell our clients for each asset have an instruction. So say the asset is a house, and the instruction is the house is not to be sold, the house is to be rented out, the proceeds from the rent of the house are to be put in this account and invested. That's the instruction for that house, right?
Right.
Life insurance, same thing. These funds go into this account. Half of it is to be used for college tuition, something like that. That's an instruction, just to give an example. So the instructions are key because that's the strategy to how the assets are to be used for your ultimate goal, right? Okay. The T in faith is for tool or tools. And that tool is going to be deciding what type of estate planning tool you're going to use, whether that's a will or a trust. And I'm a trust-based estate planning attorney, so I'm kind of biased. Right. So typically I would say the T in faith is trust, but it's for estate planning tool, whatever tool you're going to use, right? Okay. The H in faith is for help. And we always say help the helper, or, you have to have subject matter experts, So in addition to an estate planning attorney, me, right, you have to have a CPA tax specialist. You need to have a financial advisor. You might even need to have a spiritual advisor, right? You have to have a team around you to help you get to your goal.
Facts.
So that's faith. Family, assets, instructions, estate planning tool, and then the H is for help. That's the word of the day.
The word of the day, faith, which stands for family, assets, instructions,
Yes, I like.
tool, and
Help.
Help.
come on
There it
now.
Help me. Help
Yeah.
me.
Hey, help
me,
please.
I have faith that we got more good show. We're gonna take a short break.
Come on, short break. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with the Pull Up Podcast. We'll be right back.
Anyways, hey, India, why, Ali? What are you singing in the shower these days?
So I have to shout out my homegirl. She's also a namesake too.
Okay.
My girl India Shawn.
Okay.
India Shawn. I gotta shout out my girl
Yeah.
India Shawn.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of people, but I gotta rock with India Shawn.
Yeah.
For
India's
sure.
dope. India's talented.
Also, y'all all have heard of her. Good, good.
Yeah.
Well, I know, well, of course,
haven't seen
y'all
her in
should have,
years, but
y'all should
yeah,
know of
yeah,
her, but yeah, no,
yeah.
she's.
Yeah, I haven't seen India in a very long time, since my first marriage.
Man, India was in her early 20s.
Her and my
the last
ex-wife
time I
were
saw
friends.
her.
That's why.
She's super dope.
She's
Super dope, super dope. Yeah,
Super
that's
dope.
my girl.
All right, turn up. What song are you just her in general or?
Just her in general.
her in
I mean, she recently, I can't remember the last album she just put out, but it's a masterpiece. And she was touring with Harry Styles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, she's doing her thing out in Cali, doing her thing for
Yeah,
sure.
she's been in the game
For-
she's been on the
man.
grind for a long time. Man.
Very long time.
Long
She
time.
deserves her flowers for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely, yeah. She's very dope. Shout out to India. Maybe one of these days we can have you on the podcast.
That would be dope.
So now we're going to do a segment called Fan Questions. This is more of a fan statement. So when I say this, tell me what you feel about it. Okay. Every day I pray to make it out the slums, Lord. But I know peace don't come easy, so I work hard for it.
Yeah. So I work hard for it.
Come on.
So who wrote that?
I wrote that. Funny. So, long story short, before law school, I was working at Grand Hustle. I was TI or tips assistant for a year before I went to law school, and so made great, relationships, great connections with everybody there, and even throughout law school, kept in contact with everybody. Was like best friends with one of the producers, and then post law school, the producer reached out to me like, "Hey, I'm producing most of Dro's album. Can you do something for his track? He's looking for something like a poem or something." And I'm like, "What?" So literally, cold call. I just, wrote it up. Wrote it up. No guidance or what to write. They just write something, wrote it up, recorded it on my phone, text it to him. Next thing I know, you're on Dro's album. I'm like, what?
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, that was
There you
pretty dope. Dro's my homie. Shout out to Young Dro. All love to him.
Shout out to Young Dro.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you.
Totally. Yeah, it's my dude.
It's like one of my favorite rappers. I don't know why. Like yeah, I know some people that know me, y'all be like, really? Dro? But man, I fucking love Dro, bro. I really do. I really love his music, man. I like rappers that don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah, I don't think Dro gets enough credit. Like his wordplay, his
hard.
lyricism, he's one of the best.
Chopper making me do 100-yard dash. Come on that best thing smoking. Come on, Dro's first. I think it was like one of his first album, Best Thing Smoking. Bro, that was hard. That was like my college days. I was banging that thing all day, every day.
Yeah. Shout out to Young Dro.
Shout out to Young Dro.
Yes, sir.
I'm cleaning it. No, I'm finna show the lean in it.
Yeah.
Well, carbon 15. Go ahead, I'm ready.
Oh, we got time. Okay. So now it's time for Mr. TLee's teachable moment.
Oh, you didn't sing it today.
Oh, you want me to sing the song?
No. No.
I want you to sing it.
Well, I'm gonna do it anyway. TLee's teachable moment.
Okay, so earlier this week, me and Will, we've been kind of chopping it up and talking through some things about life and getting, getting things together, getting our own acts together, some inner searching. And so today my teachable moment is don't get caught up in the trap of looking for time to do nothing.
Come on now. That might be one of the realest words you ever said.
I'm going to say it again.
I almost fell out. One more time.
Get caught up in the trap of looking for time to do nothing. Because I'm going to speak from my personal space. I have found that I was looking for time to do nothing. Because I had the ability to do nothing rather than me use that time to be productive. I chose to relax. Because I deserve to relax because I've worked so hard all my life to do all these things. But the more and there's nothing wrong with getting rest. We need rest. Let's just say that we need rest. Right. We need to take that time we need the downtime. But some of us are just always looking for a time to do nothing. Right. And the aspiration and the motivation and the drive to do more gets lost. And before you know it, you're complaining because you have nothing, because you've done nothing.
Yeah.
And the moment I saw myself falling into that trap, I had to pull myself out of it. And so, yes, there you go.
Man.
I like that.
Hey, man, I like that one. You have not because you asked not.
Come on.
You have not because you did not.
Get up and do it, man.
How about that?
If you didn't get it, you can't blame anybody but yourself.
Yeah, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere.
What else?
You better wake up
Do what?
and pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen.
Y'all crazy, man.
It's been
we got to give it up.
Man, yeah, absolutely. I was going to say,
thank you.
It's been a super insightful interview. This is one of the better interviews that we've done.
Thank you.
Definitely one of the better interviews that we've done this season. No shade to nobody, but this was awesome because we learned a lot. We grew a lot. We got a lot of knowledge. I feel like we gave you guys a lot of knowledge. If we gave y'all some knowledge, drop a heart. If y'all got some good knowledge today, drop a heart in there.
And it was fun.
And it was fun. It was fun.
Had a great time.
Sitting here talking to you. You gave us some great information. We're going to make sure that everybody has India's. I saw some hearts over there. Everybody on the pull up will chill. Y'all a little lacking. We waiting for some hearts, but it's okay. So we're going to make sure that India can get all y'all information. There we go. Amen. Somebody. Amen. Somebody. Was that you? God damn it.
Oh my God, man.
I saw one little heart pop up. I was like, wait a minute.
The rest of them found time. The rest of them, they found time to do nothing.
They found time. Hey, come on now. Don't find time to do.
Full circle.
Full circle. We're going to make sure that y'all have India Ali's information. Make sure that y'all reach out to her if you guys need an amazing attorney that deals with estate planning, trusts, wills, last will and testament, all those things. Y'all move in faith. Amen. Family, assets, instruction, tools, and help. That's her thing. Y'all make sure y'all reach out.
Yeah, don't steal that.
Don't steal it. No. I might rent it on occasion. Loan it out.
I feel you.
But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all for being here. We're signing off. We'll see y'all on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. It's your boy Chill.
It's your boy Will.
And this is the Pull Up Podcast.
With Chill Will. Anytime you want.
Anytime you feel.
Pull up on Chill Will.
Hey.
We here, baby.
Yes, sir.
We'll see y'all.
Let's go.
Hey.